Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signorn. With many of us still mourning the loss of Gabby Petito, the search for Brian Laundrie has intensified. In fact, the FBI has now declared his home a crime scene. Brian Laundrie's home has now been cautioned off with caution tape, and the FBI have arrived at the scene in their vans in full force. Patrolling the whole property, as well as taking Brian's parents out to their car, seemingly for some sort of questioning. We have footage here of both Brian's parents being led out of the home into these vans. However, I'm told according to the footage, they were just kept there for a little while and then brought back into the home. It's unclear what's going to happen next, but the FBI has been in full force patrolling and scouring this house now. Again, something that it feels like they should have been doing a week ago. It's very confusing why this took so long, but again, the reason why is because a crime hadn't committed. Well, now that the remains of Gabby Petito have been found and they're still verifying that this is her, we are now taking this more seriously. The FBI has now issued a search warrant and they are out there checking out the home. In fact, here is some coverage from above the house.
Hey, JB, we're over the house right now, the one that was just swarmed by FBI and Northport Police. I'm going to show you a couple things as we continue to circle this home. And again, the road is shut down to traffic. Media is out on the side of the house. There's the media. Here is the home. Now, JB, I want to show you this as we come around. Remember the Mustang they talk so much about that Brian apparently took to the park and to go hiking, and then the parents returned it back to the driveway? There it is. That's the Mustang that's been back in this driveway since Wednesday of this week. And again, the parents didn't report him missing until late Friday evening. There's the Mustang still out in front. The red pickup truck is the father's pickup truck. We've seen that come and go with the father and mother several times. But again, the other ones are law enforcement vehicles. You see police out standing guard in front of the home. Now, the other thing I want to show you as we make our way around the back of the home, this shed that's out in the backyard. We watched as the agents came out of the home and walked the perimeter of this shed, taking pictures, looking at it, taking some measurements. They then opened the door and went inside. We saw them take pictures inside as well. Again, we don't know what's going on in there, but we do know that's what they did.
Now, apparently they went through the house, through the pool here area. Again, this is a very Florida-looking house. I've seen many houses like this in communities and neighborhoods, the fenced-in pools. This is a typical neighborhood I see here, and it's so sad to know what they were doing in there, because I still firmly believe they were helping him get away with this. And so the FBI now, again, they have not made him they have not said he's wanted for this crime or that, he's a suspect yet. He's still a person of interest is what they keep using. However, the caution tape is out and they've now declared this a crime scene. At least they did to the media on the place. They haven't done it like an official press release or anything, but they've kept the media back. As you can see, they've pushed them back and now they are really starting to gather things. There's footage of them in getting boxes and such to try and get more information from outside the home. And they did tow that Mustang out. That Mustang was interesting because that was the Mustang. Now, the family said they last saw him leave the home on Tuesday wearing hiking gear with a backpack, going to that reserve. Again, weird choice to, oh yeah, Sonny, your fiance is missing. You're going to go for a hike. Okay, cool. Have fun. Go for your hike. None of this adds up. I'm sorry. And so at that point, they reported him missing on Friday after he had already gone for a hike on Tuesday, but then they went and found the car on Wednesday. Again, the parents, there's no way they're going to be able to keep this bag of lies continuing, and so we will hopefully get some more information as they are pressed now that we know what's going on. So a lot of questions still need to be said, but at the time, we currently believe we have exhausted all avenues in searching the grounds there at that reserve that they were told that Brian would be at, and so they are no longer looking there. Law enforcement agencies continue to search for Brian Laundrie. I still want to know how the parents can't be charged for obstruction. If they knew a crime was committed, it's going to be what the question is. Did they know? Did Brian confess to them? If he did it, again, if he did it, I have to be careful. I'm jumping a lot of conclusions, but as I've said in my previous reporting, it's hard for me to accept Brian and his story since he left his fiance. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, of course, but guys, too many questionable activities, the fact that he left this van out there, the fact that I don't think he was caught digging in this exact thing that they saw in that video that we showed you, but the fact that he was, the remains were found near that spot thanks to those YouTubers. Guys, again, I want to stress this. If you didn't watch my previous report, I'll put it up here with an iCard in the top right there. Without this coverage, without us analyzing this and finding the clues like we're doing to help the FBI, they may not have ever found Gabby's remains, and that's just so tragic. But to all of you out there who have been reporting on this, keep it going. We must find this man. He cannot get away with this. He has too many questions to be answered. Now, I have some questions to ask the Northport Police Department. Now, as someone who lives here in Florida, I want to play this clip. This is now from 2 days ago. This is before they found her remains. And this is, what's his name, Josh?
Right. Well, we know late last night,
Josh
the family
Taylor,
for the first time interacted with our officers, telling us that now they have not seen Brian since Tuesday. Acting on that information, we are currently looking in his, what they say is his last known whereabouts, which was potentially entering through the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, entering into the Carlton Reserve, which is 25,000 acres to our north.
Seems real interested in this case, doesn't he? Such energy. But this is the real quote I want to pull out.
With this new information from the family, certainly if anybody has seen him
the question
out
is,
in that area,
what should people do?
Or anywhere in the last 4 days, we'd certainly like to hear from you. So we got that, but remember, I mean, Brian was not going to speak with us. He would not speak with us. So knowing that, we weren't dedicating a whole lot of resources to following around someone who is not wanted on a crime.
Got to pause here because it's gonna continue to frustrate you. And you're gonna have a lot of egg in your face, Josh Taylor, because the reality is, of anybody who lawyers up after the fiance goes missing should warrant a squad car just keeping tabs on where is he. I mean, my God, I've seen too many movies. That has to be something you can do to have one officer patrol and keep eyes on this guy. There's nothing illegal about that. There's something questionable about it. Do it on the record, off the record. Keep your eyes on the guy. What do you mean there's nothing you could do? There wasn't enough questions to say, well, why is this guy lawyered up already? Come on, dude.
Our focus was finding Gabby. So that's what we've been doing. And we have to keep that in mind, that while we're looking for Brian, obviously, who might have some answers in this case, our focus is trying to find her.
Might have some answers. Let me stop again. He might have some answers. Is this guy delusional? This is the guy in charge of the case. Can you imagine if your kids are missing and this guy's the one who's, look, guys, my only time I'm going to get actually energetic and frustrated is when you tell me I'm not doing my job. And then I'm going to get really annoyed and tell you, hey, F off, because I am. Yeah.
And any information from anyone to help us do that. Currently, there are some ground searches, to my understanding, that will be on their way this morning in Wyoming. And we'll see where that leads us as well.
Can you talk about what was the family's final...
There was one other point here. Yeah, here it is. Sorry.
Well, I mean, apparently they are concerned for the well-being of their son. So he is a Northport resident. They are Northport residents. It's our responsibility to do everything in our power to locate him.
Can you imagine being the father or parent of this? And you must have more information on your son being missing. And they're like, yeah, he might be at this reserve. No, how about they're delaying, dude? Are you a detective or what? All the clues have now come. They're all coming forward. You're going to be caught as the one who didn't know what the hell was going on. And I understand hindsight's 20/20. It's easy for me to judge, but come on, dude.
Oh, we 100% believe that he was in that home. That was the information that we had. Again.
So we 100% believe it. 100%. We are so certain we are 100%. Because that's the information we were given. Dude, what kind of detective is this? 100% no. Because I was told this by his parents, who are obviously covering up for him because they're distraught that their son potentially murdered his fiance. But, we're 100% sure.
Again, this is not a suspect in a crime, has not been.
Oh, really?
The Northport Police Department took over this case as the lead agency on Tuesday. We were working along with the FBI. I think a lot of people think apparently that we should be following him around everywhere he goes. Well, that's just not the way it works in a missing person case where someone is not currently a suspect in a crime.
Oh, man, you're going to eat those words, I bet, huh, man? Well, that's why we just didn't do it, because, we didn't do our job. We aren't just good enough detectives to gather that there was something really fishy about this. And again, now that the whole eyes are watching you, maybe you could have just done a little bit better on this one. You have so many resources already on this case. If you had just devoted one person on this guy back then, think of all the man hours that we're going to waste now because you didn't do your job right the first time, because you didn't just follow your gut. I mean, it's infuriating to me. And I hope this changes in the future because, look, I understand people have rights. Of course, people have rights, and I understand what's happening. But when someone comes forward, refuses to come forward, rather, after someone's missing, and something seems off, and you've already lawyered up and saying, sorry, I don't have anything to say, there's something screwy about it. Now, I don't believe that this Josh character even really thought they were going to find Gabby right away. That's just my gut feeling on this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he realized how much of a long shot this was going to be, a long case. Maybe people would lose interest. But the reality is YouTubers cracked the case. They found the van. They then knew where to look because they knew this was sort of the last scene where it was parked crazily. And because of that, they were able to then put their resources into an area to find remains that ended up being Gabby. So you're telling me that this guy who parked randomly on the side of the road, sketchily, mind you, he's parked there on the side of the road near this area, and now he's not a serious person of interest as to why those remains are there. My man Josh, I don't envy you in the next coming weeks because you seem pretty lack of energy and depressed before even we got to the case going, and I think it's only going to get worse, man. Because come on, you have resources. You've been spending resources like crazy. So much money spent on this case already, while other people are missing. Guys, that's the other thing. I've gotten hundreds of emails from people who are like, look up this case next. Oh, I've never found this. Mine's still missing. So many people go missing. It's so tragic. And this case has now gotten a huge spotlight and a lot more attention than most. Let's be fair, it has. But the reality is so many other people and kids are gone missing. And it's hard to have enough resources to cover all of these cases and figure out, well, what do we do? This one just became interesting just because there was a lot of video and clues and stuff that got people invested to go try and do some investigation themselves. And because of it, we did the job. And because, Josh, you couldn't just have the wherewithal to think, you know what? Let's just have somebody keep an eye on this kid. Just, don't go into his house. Don't bug him. But can we just drive around and just make sure that this person seems a little sketchy, that we know what's going on? Just follow him for a little bit. Let's see what happens. Maybe he finds Gabby, right? Maybe they're in cahoots. We don't have to follow him with the intent that he's a criminal, but we follow him with the intent, well, maybe he would help us discover where she's at because he doesn't want to say anything. And maybe they're working together. There's a million reasons why you would have put someone on him to tail him. Is that illegal? Not charging him. You're not going into private establishments. You're allowed to follow a guy from afar as a police officer and not, right? Am I crazy? Please, someone who knows the law better than I, tell me down below. Am I crazy in being frustrated with this guy? Because I don't understand how it got this far. It's beyond me. Again, there's some other stuff out there I'm going to cover. There's a note and stuff. There's about the door. Did it close? We got lots more to cover in this case, but I want to make sure I just at least got you an update on the latest. And yes, the police and FBI have now declared this a crime scene. I expect a lot more news tomorrow. We will get the autopsy results are apparently coming out tomorrow, as well as a press conference from the Laundrie family. We will be covering all of that here. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts so you can get notified when we go live, smash the like button, and leave a comment on your thoughts on this case and with the Northport Police Department. What do you think about the way they handled this? Should they have followed him, or am I crazy? And they didn't know. How were they supposed to know, Andy? We can't just follow everybody who's a suspect. I don't know, and this guy felt like a pretty good suspect to follow. But I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more coverage and more news here on Popcorn Planet.